present Driving in the Fast Lane with Frank Sparks. It's the show that talks about what's happening in the news, locally, regionally, and nationally. There will be guests, and Noah Haswell will have the news at the top and bottom of each hour. And now, here is the host of the show, Frank Sparks.
And good morning to you. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. I took a little bit of a long weekend. My wife was off yesterday, had to get some tests done, so I decided I'd hang out with her and help her out. And so now I'm back today, and today we're going to get you all started out. Hour number one, our good friend Tom Young, your financial coach, is in the house, and we're going to visit with him, and then we've got a lot to talk about. There's a lot of parades coming up with a lot of things going on. That's what we're going to hit right off the bat, number two, and I want to get Tom's opinion on this too, because I know Tom will have an opinion on this. Over the weekend, there was a St. Patrick's Day parade in Monaca, and supposedly something went on. Not sure. I'm going to read it later on Facebook, but there was a little bit of tension between the Democrats and some people maybe that were on the street that were Republicans. Should there be allowed to be, whether it's Republican Party, Democrat Party, Tea Party, whatever, should there be allowed to be political things like that in parades?
Are you asking me?
I'm asking you.
You're asking me that.
And we're going to talk about an
question.
hour or two after we're done talking with you.
You know, that is a that's we're going to talk about that today because I want to talk about Trump derangement syndrome.
Oh, there's a lot of that.
You know, the psychological problem that people have, and I just always have a question: why do you feel that way? And most people don't have an answer.
No.
You know, because I've seen on the news, you know, they'll interview people and they ask them questions, and they're robots. And in other words, they're just people that follow the trend. And that leads me to another topic I'm going to talk about today, about be the example. Mm-hmm. My first professional talk that I did a number of years ago was called Be the Example. And you are today the result of all of the examples you have experienced your entire life.
Okay.
Whether it's the news media or family, friends, friends at high school, friends at college, wherever it is, we are, for the most part, the product of all of those experiences. Now, if you don't like the product that you have become, and that's a self-image problem, and many, many people have a self-image problem. I had that problem early in my life in deciding who I wanted to be and what I wanted to do. And I made some decisions that turned out not so good, and they weren't what I wanted to do. I had anger issues in the beginning. And I'm just thankful at this point in my life that somehow the Lord grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and turned my direction to the road less traveled. As I don't know if you ever read Robert Frost's book, The Road Less Traveled, and that is the road that we all can choose to be on, but it must be a choice. Now, you asked me a question about these politics. You know, if you're having a rally and you're on the conservative side, I'm not against the meetings and the protests and the things that are going on. But the minute you turn violent, you go to jail. That is, there is no acceptability to the violence that's going on. And that's my first answer. The second answer is these people show up with pre-printed signs.
Right.
Where did they come from? I believe there is an underlying shadow group in our country that are fomenting riots and what is going on with the sole purpose of the destruction of America. Because the rest of the world isn't good. If America goes away, Frank, the future for the rest of the world is gone.
Absolutely.
Because the powerful people in the world, the billionaires, you know, you look at the news media in the world, and we're a pea in a can of millions of peas here at WBBP, WNBA. We're just a little pea in the pod.
Right.
Okay? But there are 6 billionaires that own 95% of all the media. And those billionaires use their media for their thinking ends to get people to think the way they want you to think. And the Trump derangement syndrome and people that feel the way they do. And I had a conversation the other day, and I love my wife. We'll be married 57 years next month. But she is not a conservative person. So our house in the political side is a little divided. We do not discuss politics in my house. And they say things about, they don't like him. They don't like what he says. They don't like what he does. And why? I mean, the results that he has been able to obtain in just his first year as the president are unprecedented. And now I just believe that his mission is if you want to bring peace to the world, you have to eliminate the people like Maduro in Venezuela. You have to eliminate the guy in Cuba. You have to eliminate the people in Iran that for 47 years have chanted death to America, and they have killed thousands of Americans over the last 47 years. Okay, Frank, that was my answer. Hi, folks. I'm Tom Young. I'm here to talk about everything financial, what gets in your head, because everything is all tied together.
Right.
Whether it's your financial, your physical, your mental, the psychology of your life, everything is attuned to take you to an end. And I want to start today, I have it here, I want to start with a prayer. We got off the ground here. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this morning, this new morning. Bless our listeners with success, health, and family love. We pray for world peace and the end of conflicts. Guide us with your grace and light today. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
It's funny.
I got you wound up to start, didn't I?
I'll tell you a story. And yesterday with the snow and everything that went on.
Right.
And I had a 2-hour training session online from noon to 2 yesterday. And I left the office immediately after that, and we went to Costco because my daughter couldn't go with my wife because of some other issues and on the kids. And so I ended up at Costco, so we got home at 6 o'clock. And I never prepared for today. I didn't write any notes, put it that way.
Well, I know better.
But I'm sitting here looking at dozens of pieces of paper in front of me.
Right.
That I don't feel remiss because of that, because I have a ton of information from last month.
Do you really need those papers? You know this so well. I know you have them there, but you know this so well. Do you really need those papers?
I just opened the door, folks. If you're part of an organization and you're looking for a speaker, I have opened the door, and I've already booked my first professional talk in Pittsburgh.
Oh, cool!
It's a Christian retreat, a Catholic church, a Christian retreat. And I'm one of the speakers there.
Awesome.
On April 11th. So if you have a group and you're looking for a speaker, my goal in life is to touch 1 million lives with love and feeling and anything that I've experienced in my life that I can share that will help you take your next step up. And it's about, people talk about handouts. I give people a hand up. That is what I believe it's supposed to be like. So today, everything today is about two things. Number one, we're going to talk about be the example. We're going to talk about some financial things that come out of that. And the question, why? What is your why? There was a great book by Simon Sinek. I gave a talk 15 years ago at an annual meeting in Detroit for Flex Plans, Inc. They're a brokerage firm, national brokerage firm. I was the keynote speaker at their annual meeting. And I gave that talk based on Simon Sinek's book, Start With Your Why. And I really believe that if I can help somebody focus on that and work at, in your mind, what is your why? Why did you get up today? Why did you eat today? Well, you ate today because, what was your why? You were probably hungry. Why did you go to the bathroom today? Well, why? Because I had to. So there are things in our life that can answer the question why. But, when you were born, a problem was solved. I don't know whether you understand that or not when I say that, but when you were born, a problem was solved. We see young people. I love to watch America's Got Talent and to see these people on there that their whole life has been over here doing whatever, and here is this one gift that they have found inside themselves, and they have developed it in quiet. They have developed it in the shadow, and then all of a sudden, here's this opportunity. And for the life of me, the gal, what was her name? She was from Ireland, and she was a cleaning lady, and she has become an unbelievable superstar.
Okay, what'd she do? She a singer? Or?
Yeah, she was a singer. And for the life of me, my brain, I
haven't watched that show in a couple
I'm
years.
going in 20 different ways right now in my mind, so I got to control that. But I think of that, and I look at those people, and somehow some spark led them to blossom. In other words, their flower. They've been in bud position so long, and all of a sudden something in their life happened. Somebody encouraged them. Somebody gave them a spark of hope that this is the real answer to what I need to do. The Ypung girl in Pittsburgh, when she was little, and you listen to her sing, those are people that found that gift that God put inside each and every one of us. And shame on you if you don't think about this and try in some way to find your secret, that secret gift that we all have inside of us. Whether my gift is doing this and influencing people, the financial stuff that I do, I find money. People ask me, Tom, what do you do? I says, I have a unique approach to the financial business. This is my 50th year, Frank. This month of March starts the beginning of my 50th year in the financial services industry. We're going to have a picnic this summer for clients, and we're going to celebrate my 50th year in business. And I could sit here and talk all day for the next 6 hours and just tell stories of people that I have met along the way that somehow what I said to them gave them hope. It gave them that ability to reach inside of themselves and pull out that magic that was there. People dream, you're married, you got kids, you're raising a family, and deep down inside, what's the dream, Frank? You're a family man. What's down inside of you for the future?
Success.
Success. Well, how do you define success? See, I think success for most people is what I refer to as position A. Okay, I reach retirement, that magic date. And from the day before my retirement to the day after my retirement, my current lifestyle becomes my future lifestyle, and there isn't any changes. And I have enough money saved and income for the rest of my economic life with adjustments for inflation and never run out of money. So my lifestyle, when I retire, I always ask people the question, when you retire, do you want less lifestyle than you have now, the same lifestyle you have now, or more lifestyle than you have now? Well, how would you answer that, Frank?
Probably more, because you want to travel and just do the things that you couldn't do while you were working.
People say, well, we dreamt all of our lives that when we retired, we were going to do this and do this and do this. But yet, when I meet them and I go through their finances, their current lifestyle, their present lifestyle is eating up their future lifestyle.
Gotcha.
And that is the other part. When I said, I have a unique approach to the financial service business, I find money for people they're losing unknowingly and unnecessarily, and I show them how to turn it into future lifestyle savings. Because if you're not saving enough money, and I have the greatest piece of software that anybody could ever ask. I call it my movie software, because I can put everything about you financially into my software, and let's run the movie. Everything you're doing today, the way you're doing it today, going forward, are you doing enough?
And what do you charge people to do this?
I don't charge any fees. I do God's work for a living. I don't ask people to buy anything. Awesome. When there is problems that they want to solve, I help them solve those problems, but it's always with what I call the maximum efficiency. In other words, typical financial planning is sitting here when we say, okay, here you are today, you're 45 or you're 50, and you want to retire at 65. The magic date that has been history, but now it's age 67, because that's the full retirement date for Social Security. So now it's age 67. And I said, okay, well, how much money are you making today? And I'm looking at your finances, and you're barely being able to pay your bills, and you want me to use that income today to project your retirement income. But that's what financial planning teaches. Mm-hmm. Here's your current income. We're going to adjust it for inflation. So the historical average of inflation is around 3%. So we're going to take your income today and we're going to inflate it for the next 15 years from age 50 to age 65. So here's the goal. So we've set a goal now. Even though you're broke today, are you going to be any better off 15 years from now projecting the same income you have now? And then we're going to make a bunch of assumptions. We're going to assume an interest rate. We're going to assume how much money that you're saving today. And the typical of the financial industry, and I can read it to you out of the books, because I've got all these initials after my name, and I've taken all the courses. And they all say this, always save 10% of your income. They ain't enough. 10% won't work.
Yeah.
It won't be enough money to maintain your lifestyle after retirement that you had before retirement for the rest of your life. So that's the first lie. Making assumptions, and the word assume, I won't say it on the radio, but we all know what assume means. Mm-hmm. And so we make all these assumptions based on all of that. Now, the question is, how much interest do I have to earn on my money between now and retirement, so that I'll have enough money to last me throughout my life expectancy at my same current lifestyle with adjustments for inflation? Question 2, well, how much do I have to save? Well, okay, here's what we got to save. When is the retirement date? Do you really know when that date is? Unless you're there and it's tomorrow, you don't really know, because that date could change because of medical issues in your life.
Right.
So there are other extenuating circumstances that may change your dream date for retirement. And then the fourth one is, when we get there, how much will you be willing to reduce your lifestyle so that what you have saved will be enough to last you throughout your life expectancy?
Not too many people are going to want to do that.
I don't think so. So those 4 questions are what I help people answer. Mm-hmm. It's just that simple. Now, my approach is when I look at today at people, I want to look at efficiency. What are you doing today that isn't as efficient as it could be? Because the only goal that you can have for retirement is I want to have the most I can have when I get there. Mm-hmm. Whenever that date is, whenever that occurs, I want to have the most I can have when I get there. There isn't any other answer between now and retirement in any other way. Your future will result from your imagination or someone else's. You have to have a dream or someone else will, and they will drive your life. So that comes back to that, what is your why? Do you really want it? I'll have people that come to me and they say that, they want this and they want that and they want this and want that. We grew up with kids that want, that I want mom.
Yeah.
My mother used to say she was going to change her name to Bleep, and if I said it, she'd slap me. So, or wash my mouth, I would. So, but that's that mom thing. So I see we're at the end of the first half hour, And we're going to go back here. We're going to come back and try to put all of this together and give it some real meaning when I come back. God bless.
All right, more with Tom Young coming up after news with Noah Haswell.
Are you frustrated by high copays for your generic drugs? Stop overpaying and start saving. Discover Forward RX, your local cost-plus pharmacy in New Brighton. At Forward RX, we believe in transparency and affordability. No insurance middlemen, no inflated prices, just the true cost of your medication plus a simple fixed markup. Join the Forward RX family today and experience the difference. Check out our medication prices online at fwdrx.com or give us a call for a price quote. Forward RX. Come for the savings and stay for the service.
Here is a question that's very easy to answer. Would you rather be sold something or get professional help and advice that ultimately leads to a strategy that best suits your needs? Tom Young at First Consultants Inc. in Beaver has a unique approach that has won over the trust of even the most skeptical clients.
Everybody that's selling is looking for a profit. I focus on creating strategies that are in the client's best interest.
Ask yourself this: what have you got to lose? The answer might be a fortune. Get financial strategies instead of a pitch about a product. Visit firstconsultantsinc.com or be a part of Tom Young's live simulcast presentation on the third Tuesday of each month beginning at 9:10 a.m. on Beaver County Radio and Facebook Live. All advisory services are offered through PL Wealth LLC. PL Wealth is a federally registered investment advisor. PL Wealth is in no way affiliated with First Consultants Inc., nor is First Consultants Inc. a registered investment advisor.
At MRS Physical Therapy, they understand that you already expect to receive treatment that will help you move better, feel better, and recover faster and more completely from an injury or an operation. But did you know that you can make an appointment to come see MRS Physical Therapy without a doctor referral? And they even offer same-day appointment. It's true. You can come see them whenever you want and come back as many times as you wish for 30 days. There's no need to wait until you see your primary care physician. Get treatment when you need it most at MRS Physical Therapy in Bridgewater and Cranberry. Visit mrsphysicaltherapy.com or call 724-728-7550.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
Patriot Home Care is now hiring caregivers. Are you a caring and compassionate individual looking for a reliable income with benefits? Then call Patriot Home Care today. Benefits include health insurance, life insurance, paid vacation after 1 year, and 1.5 times hourly pay for overtime plus holiday hours. Patriot Home Care employees provide personal care, conversation and companionship, medication reminders, light housekeeping and laundry, meal preparation, and errands. Start your career in home care today and call Patriot Home Care at 724-506-8911 or apply online at patriothomecare.org.
Technology key for Hamlin Vegas victory. I'm Susie Armstrong. The story next on NASCAR Today.
This season, it's on.
Bring it home, Cam.
On point, on fire, and sometimes on purpose.
No way!
The bumping, banging, edge of your seat, blinking you miss it excitement only found here.
They're both in the wall!
One lap, one race, one NASCAR weekend at a time.
Hell yeah, boys!
Don't miss the NASCAR Cup Series, brought to you by Coca-Cola at Darlington, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern on FS1.
NASCAR fans, iRacing Studios brings you NASCAR 25. Race hundreds of the biggest stars of the sport on top tracks from Daytona to Sonoma. Start your career in the ARCA Menards Series and work your way up to Cup while managing team members, sponsors, and more. Or compete online with NASCAR fans around the world. NASCAR 25, available on PlayStation, Xbox, and PC. Head to NASCAR25.com to buy now.
Denny Hamlin captured his first NASCAR Cup Series victory of 2026 and second in a row at Las Vegas Motor Speedway Sunday. The Joe Gibbs Racing pilot dominated the final 49 circuits, holding off Chase Elliott for the 61st win of his Cup career. Afterward, he explained how new technology has been an imperative component of his recent preparation.
Data and analytics played probably a role in that. I'm a very analytical person, and what data and analytics allowed me to do is identify my weaknesses, and then allowed me to figure out how I'm going to shore up those weaknesses. So, before that, you're kind of just seat of your pants.
I'm Susie Armstrong. This is NASCAR Today on the Motor Racing Network.
Beaver County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and beavercountyradio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on this St. Patrick's Day, Tuesday, March 17th of 2026. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. The Brighton Township Volunteer Fire Department Station 63 was dispatched on Sunday to the area behind the St. Barnabas building off Dutch Ridge Road because of recurring hotspots caused by the high winds from Friday. After crews extinguished the hotspots, a brush fire occurred in the area of the 2900 block of Tuscarawas Road. An individual was also found at that scene who was experiencing a medical emergency. Firefighters began providing care immediately, and they requested EMS from Medic Rescue to assist during this incident before it was resolved. 2 farms in Beaver and Somerset counties will be preserved for farming because the state of Pennsylvania has recently purchased the development rights to those properties. The Shapiro administration announced last month that state and county governments bought the development rights to 25 farms in 17 counties, which invested $7.1 million under Pennsylvania's Farmland Preservation Program to ensure that the 1,905 acres of land that are included on those farms will be used for agricultural purposes and would not be sold to residential or commercial developers. The development rights on a 62-acre crop and livestock farm in Hanover Township in Beaver County that are owned by William McNary Jr. and Deborah K. McNary were purchased for $234,140 using funds from the state of Pennsylvania. Gas prices are stable in western Pennsylvania this week at about $3.73 per gallon, according to AAA East Central's gas price report. The national average for a gallon of regular gasoline is $3.71, and the last time the national average was in the $3.70 range was in October of 2023. The report states that the average price for a gallon of regular gas in western Pennsylvania was about $3.41 at this time a year ago, and the average price that you can expect for a gallon of regular unleaded gas here in Beaver County is about $3.79.
This went up to $3.94 this morning when I was going past the gas station, so unfortunately it's back up.
A suspect in a shooting that happened on a Pittsburgh Regional Transit bus on Saturday was arrested yesterday. According to Port Authority Police in Pittsburgh, 18-year-old Michael Andrews was charged with aggravated assault, carrying a firearm without a license, reckless endangerment, and person not to possess a firearm. He is now being held at the Allegheny County Jail. Police believe that Andrews shot a juvenile on the P1 bus near the Homewood Station on the East Busway over the weekend. The victim was taken to a hospital and is currently listed in stable condition. And former Pittsburgh Steelers cornerback Darius Slay announced yesterday on social media that he is retiring from football. The 35-year-old Slay played in 10 games for the Steelers last season, and he recorded 3 passes defended, a fumble recovery, and 36 total tackles during those games. He started in 9 out of 10 of them. Slay won Super Bowl 59 on February 9th, 2025 in New Orleans with the Philadelphia Eagles, made it to the Pro Bowl 6 times, and was an NFL first-team All-Pro in 2017.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
It's going to be breezy today, but we will see a little sunshine on this St. Patrick's Day, along with the chance of snow. We'll reach highs near 30 and drop down to lows of 18. Tomorrow, it'll be partly sunny with highs of 38 and lows of 32. And Thursday, expect a slight chance of rain with highs of 51 and lows of 37. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Tuesday, March 17th, 2026, at 38 minutes after 10, we've got a temperature of 27 degrees and it's overcast currently in Beaver County. That's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at beavercountyradio.com.
Hot coffee in the morning and Frank Sparks. Now you're in the fast lane. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and streaming live on beavercountyradio.com.
10:39 right on the news. Visiting with Tom Young in hour number 1 today. And we left off talking a little bit about planning for your retirement and will you have enough money when you get there? And what is that date? Who knows at this point? Like you said, there could be a lot of changes for The possibility, health, something happens and you end up having to work past that date. But obviously, and Tom wants to know, do you have enough money when you get there?
That is the secret question of all questions. Back to the example. Why do people fail? Why do people not reach where they should be? And I believe it's the underlying shadow influence is part of that. I mentioned earlier the Trump derangement syndrome. We're not going to get into that, but why is that? For the last 10 years, the news media basically has trunched, pounded, and on and on and on about Donald J. Trump. But you know what? Everything that they talked about all the way back to 2016 has been proven to be untrue. But the old adage is a lie is easily believed. The truth takes miles and miles of work in order to get it to be believed. So the only reason that you have this opinion about Trump or anybody, any of the politicians, the conservatives, whatever, you don't even know, what is a liberal? Do you know what a liberal is? In my mind, a liberal is somebody that allows marriage to 12-year-old little girls like the Muslims do. And I don't want to get into religions, but there is so much of this stuff out there. And being a liberal, like right now, the liberals, well, they're not for the American people. We saw that at the night of the President's State of the Union address. They're for the illegal aliens and for the people that have murdered, raped, and maimed our citizens that came here illegally, snuck into the country, were pushed into the country from Maduro and places like that and around the world. And now we've got this terrible situation going on where I believe that the fatwa, as they call it, is going to come to our shores. And things not so nice are going to happen. They've already happened a couple of times just in the last week or so. But let's get back to thinking. There are 13 things here. I want to go through these because I think these would create the foundation for being the best version of you that you can be. Number 1, temperance. Eat not to dullness, drink not to elevation. Now, that's an easy one, because 70% of the people in America are obese and overweight. I being one of those.
Me too.
Silence. Speak not, but what way benefit others or yourself. Avoid trifling conversation. How much do we hear that is pure gossip? The news media created the gossip about Donald J. Trump. That's Absolutely. All it was. That was absolute gossip about Donald J. Trump. Order. Let all your things have their places. Let each part of your business have its time. That's an interesting one. Resolution. Resolve to perform what you ought. Perform without fail what you resolve.
Okay.
And I mean, this falls into what we're talking about. Do you have a set of principles in your life? Frugality. Make no excuses but to do good to others or yourself. That is, waste nothing. Industry. Lose no time. Be always employed in something useful. Cut all unnecessary actions. Sincerity. Use no hurtful deceit. Think innocently and justly. And if you speak, speak accordingly. Justice. Wrong none by doing injuries or omitting the benefits that are your duty. Moderation. Avoid extremes. Forever resenting injuries so much as you think they deserve. Cleanliness. Tolerate no uncleanliness in bodily, clothes, or habitat. Tranquility. Be not disturbed at trifles or at accidents, common or unavoidable. chastity, rarely, use necessary but for health or offspring, never to dullness, weakness, or the injury of your own or another's peace or reputation. And the last one is humility. Imitate Jesus and Socrates. I found those. I've had those on little cards for a long time, and I saw those, and I thought they made my point today about start with your why. What is the kind of person that you want to be like? We know the golden rule. Now, Nelson tells me there's another set of golden rules. The golden rule that we know is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. But Nelson, who wrote the Infinite Banking Concept book and taught that to me, the golden rule is the one who has the gold makes the rules. And we see that around the world in everything that's going on, and it's just amazing. So the question is, who was your influencer growing up? Frank, can you name somebody that was an influencer that brought you to where you are today that you would say had that much influence on you?
My dad.
Your dad. My dad was the same to me. My dad was a very quiet man. I never saw him really get angry or anything, but he just worked 2 or 3 jobs a day. Had 8th grade education, but he never quit and never complained about making money to feed the family and all. He just went and did what was necessary to be done. And I meet so many people today that just, it isn't their modus operandi anymore, is that they don't do what it takes. They're so busy looking for the way to get something for free or to get a handout or any of the above that we talk about in what we're doing. I have a little poem I like to share. The little chap who follows me. A careful man I want to be, a little fellow follows me. I do not dare to go astray, for fear he'll go the self-same way. I cannot once escape his eyes. Whate'er he sees me do, he tries. Like me, he says he's going to be, the little chap who follows me. He thinks that I'm so very fine, believes in every word of mine. The base in me he must not see, the little chap who follows me. I must remember as I go through summer suns and winter snow, I'm building for the years to be, the little chap who follows me, author unknown. That's a poem that I know I've read it on here so many times, we're just about thinking. Let's talk about some of the things. Where'd my other paper go here? Avoiding taxes. Things that we look at right now, if you've done your taxes already, I would think you found a little bit of reward because of the big, beautiful bill that was passed last year. I know I got a bigger refund than I expected, and everybody I have talked to have gotten anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 more back than they typically would get back because of the past and what's going on. Did you get an experience like that, Frank? Have you done your taxes yet?
I have an appointment 1 week from today to get my taxes done.
1 week from today to get your taxes done.
Usually I get them done right when you can in February there. And to this year I've been slacking a little bit, Tom. I don't know why. Been leaving the government keep my money that I shouldn't let them keep, huh? Yes.
I look at what I do, and the very basics of what I do is my goal is to change the way you think. Because the way you think isn't working. For most people, the way you think today is not taking you where you want to go. And if the way you think today is not taking you where you want to go, something has to change. And be careful when you point fingers at other people because, Frank, what do you see? There's 3 fingers pointing back at me.
That's right.
When I point a finger at somebody else in looking at that. So the hardest labor of all labor performed by man is that of thinking. Do you ever just take time in a quiet place to think? I work at that. I don't do it as often as I would like to. But I really, really, really plan every day to take a few minutes somewhere for a prayer and just to think quietly on my own to try to stay focused on where I want to go, because there are so many distractions in our lives when we look at that they take us away from where we're going and where we're going to get there.
I get up before the rest of the house does in the morning. Like, I know they get up on the weekends, they usually get up 7 o'clock, 7:30. I usually, myself, my interior alarm wakes me up at 5 o'clock, so I got that couple hours to just kind of sit back and reset in the mornings.
Cool.
Yeah.
If something you thought to be true wasn't true, when would you want to know about it?
Immediately.
And that is the center of really what I do. It is helping people find absolute truth. The software that I have and the things that I can calculate, I actually prove things. I want to promote. This is a new book. It's not out yet. One of my very, very close friends and mentor, Todd Langford. You can find Todd on YouTube. He is a numbers guy. I've known Todd for 35.
Is he one of the ones you had on as a guest before?
A long time ago, I've had Todd on, yes.
Okay, I remember.
I've had Todd on. I need to bring him back again because he has a new book. It's called Conscious Calculations, The Truth Behind the Numbers in Personal Finance. As I said, there are so much that is out there that is misleading. It is not a lie, but it is not the truth. Example, that if you go to the bank and they talk about a mortgage and people talk about a 15-year mortgage is better than a 30-year mortgage because look at how much interest you're going to save. Now, on the surface, that's a correct comment. But when you look deeper, it is absolutely wrong. Because the 15-year mortgage monthly payment is extremely more than a 30-year fixed rate payment. Okay? The next thing I look at is that difference between the 15 and the 30-year payment. If I was to save that and not give it to the bank, because if I give it to the bank, I can't get it back. Unless I refinance the house or do something, it's gone. I can't, Same with your down payment. You put a down payment on a house. Frank, here's a question for you. Do you ever get your down payment back?
Nope.
No. So what goes along with that losing money unknowingly and unnecessarily is the opportunity cost. So that down payment I made, the interest that money would have earned for my entire lifetime would be a huge, huge number. Now, the 30-year mortgage, when I look at it, the payment is a lot less. But we have to deal in a world, we all know what inflation is. Agreed, Frank?
Yep.
We all know what inflation is.
Absolutely.
What does the inflation do to your dollar every year?
Lowers the value of it.
Right. In other words, next year you buy less. So if I have a 30-year fixed payment that I'm giving the bank every year for 30 years, that same monthly payment, in 10 years, would it not be easier to make that payment than it is today?
Absolutely.
How about 20 years?
Even easier.
So now we structured. Now let's add the tax deduction on the mortgage. So if I add the tax deduction, inflation, and opportunity cost, the 30-year fixed rate mortgage is better financially than the 15-year fixed rate mortgage. But I know that only because I have done the math that Todd Langford taught me. And this is a book that everybody should have. It is full of examples, and I'll read you why getting the truth matters. It could be the difference between your financial success and being in position A at retirement and determining how much you have to reduce your lifestyle versus being position A. Foundational financial philosophies, 5 fundamental calculators, why simplify software, the calculators, part 1, part 2, the software tools, duet of truth, math and principle. Chapter 8, becoming a conscious calculator, epilogue. Nothing is truer than truth. And He just sent this to me, wanted me to review it and give him a statement on it, and I've gone through it. And Todd is just an amazing, amazing guy in his ability with numbers to literally, he has given me the ability to absolutely prove that the advice that I give people is the most efficient, most effective, and mathematically correct advice that I could ever give anybody. And the unfortunate side of that is the human nature that comes with it. So when you get into human nature and the things that Nelson taught me about human nature, the Pareto principle. The Pareto principle is kind of easy to look at because whatever will be, will be. If you have a job to do and you have all day to do it, and it would take you about 2 hours to do this job, but you have all day to do it. Frank, when are you going to complete the job?
You're going to take as long as you can.
But,
Take as long as you can if you got all day.
By the end of the day.
Yeah,
and that is really what the bottom line is in doing that. And that's C. Northcote Parkinson. This guy existed from 1909 to 1993. Parkinson's law says work expands to meet the time envelope allowed. Give a person a job, 3 days to complete it. Bet your grocery money it won't be done until late on the third day. Give them 30 days, it won't be done until the 30th day. A luxury once enjoyed becomes a necessity. Expenses rise equal to income. People get a raise and they are not in control. They have not put a cap on their lifestyle. So when they get a raise, what typically happens is I have this thing that I've been thinking about for a long time, and I want it. So I got a pay raise, so I'm going to go get it. And therefore, my current lifestyle expenses outweigh my future lifestyle expense requirements for the future and end up bad off. Number 2, Willie Sutton's law. Willie Sutton was a bank robber from 1901 to 1980. Why he continued to rob banks. He told the reporter, he says, one day, he says, that's where they keep the money. Wherever wealth is accumulated, someone will try to steal it. That's the 4 rules of the financial world that I teach people. I want all your money. I want more ongoing. I want to keep it forever. I want to give back as little as possible. Those are the financial world's full rules. Number 3, the golden rule. We already talked about that. Those who have the gold make the rules. Number 4 is the arrival syndrome. This is the deadliest of all human failings, is that arrival syndrome. We already know all there is. Ed Deming, 1900 to 1993, tried to teach us, and they knew it all. He went to Japan and helped build their idea of quality autos. Today is an example. I mean, look at the Lexus and the kind of things, automobiles that come out of Japan today. Amazing. And number 5 is use it or lose it. If you don't take advantage of what's going on in your life and make a decision to grow you, the world will grow you into what they want you to be. Knowledge is something that you learn. Wisdom is to apply that knowledge to your everyday life. I try to provide every day thinking for people to get them thinking in the right way. Anytime somebody questions or challenges me, I don't dispute it. I just talk about the principles behind it. There are principles in our lives that make the biggest difference of everything going on in our life. I've done stories in the past about the Club of Rome, the smartest people in the world, and all the predictions they've ever made have fallen apart. And didn't they predicted that we were going to run out of oil in 1993, which led to OPEC being formed. Well, what happened with that? But they never talked about the Texas Railroad Commission, which does the same thing in our country. The gold standard, Nixon took us off, and now we're slowly moving back towards the gold standard. Folks, have a great year. When I come back next month, it'll be right at the end of tax season. So maybe we'll open the lines and get some stories of some of the people, what they experience and getting their tax done. God bless you all. We'll see you here next month. Maybe on Good Friday. Frank says I got the radio show for Good Friday, 10 to noon. So
all right,
come and listen.
Okay, sounds good. Coming up, Town Hall News, followed by local news.
Hanks today? If not, what are you waiting for? Visit Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican food next to the YMCA today. From their famous assortment of frozen custard to tacos, burritos, taco salads, and more, Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican is the place to go. Want to skip the line? Order on their website at gotohanks.com. Also on their website, sign up for rewards and score yourself some deals at Hank's. So what are you waiting for? Visit Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican food today. Hank's Frozen Custard and Mexican, a Beaver County staple since 1952.
You're listening to 99.3 FM, presented by St. Barnabas, in addition to 1230 WBVP Beaver Falls. County Radio's news source. 99.3 FM, 1230 WBVP, and BeaverCountyRadio.com. Here's Noah Haswell.
Good morning on this St. Patrick's Day, Tuesday, March the 17th of 2026. We will have a complete Beaver County radio weather forecast after we take this look at news. The Brighton Township Volunteer Fire Department Station 63 was dispatched on Sunday to the area behind the St. Barnabas building off Dutch Ridge Road because of recurring hotspots caused by the high winds from Friday. After crews extinguished the hotspots, a brush fire occurred in the area of the 2900 block of Tuscarawas Road. An individual was also found at that scene who was experiencing a medical emergency. Firefighters began providing care immediately, and they requested EMS from Medic Rescue to assist during this incident before it was resolved. Pennsylvania State Police in Pittsburgh reported via release today that 62-year-old Ali Reza Afshar of Pittsburgh was charged after a single vehicle crash occurred in Findlay Township yesterday. Afshar was driving on I-376 West east of Enlow Road, and at 5:32 p.m. he drove his vehicle off of the road and that vehicle overturned. A mother from Penn Hills is now charged with homicide in connection with the death of her 3-year-old son. Lagomau Malu and Adam Chirico were charged last week after their son died at the hospital on Wednesday after he was found unresponsive along Dorothy Drive in Penn Hills that day. According to police, Malu admitted to hitting her son multiple times in the head and kneeled on his chest because he wet the bed. A forensic pathologist found the child died of a head injury and ruled his death a homicide. Malu and Chirico were both denied bail and are being held in the Allegheny County Jail. Preliminary hearings for the couple are scheduled for later this month. According to a release yesterday from Richmond Communications, Citizens Live at the Wiley, the highly anticipated 4,000 capacity live music venue in the Lower Hill District of Pittsburgh, is opening this fall, and it is kicking off its first concert announcements, including a hometown headliner from Pittsburgh native and rapper Wiz Khalifa. The full list of artists and the dates that they will be performing at Citizens Live at the Wiley can be found on our website at BeaverCountyRadio.com, and you can visit Citizens Live at the Wiley.com. That's Citizens Live at the WYLIE.com for more information about tickets, because this Friday is when tickets for select shows will go on sale. And the Pennsylvania Turnpike's new Super Snow Plow was recently given a new name after a naming contest for it was held between March 4th through 11th, 2026. The huge 550 horsepower tri-drive truck that the Turnpike is using is now called Plow Force 1, which received 400 votes from the public. Turnpike officials confirm that over 140,000 social media users engaged in the contest to name the truck that can clear a path that is 27 feet wide in one pass combined.
Here's the Beaver County forecast.
It's going to be breezy today, but we will see a little sunshine on this St. Patrick's Day, along with the chance of snow. We'll reach highs near 30 and drop down to lows of 18. Tomorrow, it'll be partly sunny with highs of 38 and lows of 32. And Thursday, expect a slight chance of rain with highs of 51 and lows of 37. I'm Lisa Marie with your Beaver County weather.
On this Tuesday, March 17th of 2026 at 9 minutes after 11, we've got a temperature of 28 degrees currently in Beaver County. And that's a look at the news for now. I'm Noah Haswell on 99.3 FM, AM 1230 WBVP, 95.7 FM, and 1460 AM WMBA. Also streaming live around the world at BeaverCountyRadio.com.
The views and opinions expressed on WBVP and WMBA are those of the participants and host. They are not necessarily the viewpoint of WBVP and WMBA, its staff, management, and advertisers. Thank you for listening to WBVP and WMBA.
Lincoln Park Performing Arts Center in Midland presents All Hands on Deck, a high-energy patriotic spectacular for the entire family. March 19th through the 22nd, sponsored by Clearview Federal Credit Union. Get tickets now at LincolnParkArts.org.
Party and Polka at the Carnegie Free Library of Beaver Falls, March 21st, as the Polka Maniacs perform live. The High Energy Band will entertain with its toe-tapping tunes for an audience that can savor drinks from Real Nuts Vodka, plus complimentary snacks. Get tickets for this fundraiser at the library's front desk or online at cflbf.org.
Put freedom in your future. Freedom United Federal Credit Union in Rochester.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 0. All engine running.
Patriot Home Care is proud to present Driving in the Fast Lane with Frank Sparks. It's the show that talks about what's happening in the news, locally, regionally, and nationally. There will be guests, and Noah Haswell will have the news at the top and bottom of each hour. And now, here is the host of the show, Frank Sparks.
It's 11:11 in Beaver County. Good morning to you on this snowy Tuesday morning. Yuck. Thought we were over this. Thought it was gone. But we learned